What's happening, folks? Welcome back to my podcast. So it says original peak Power Ranger Amy Jo Johnson writing new comic book series is my version exclusive. So let's dive in. It's been 30 years since Mighty Morphin Power Rangers premiere, but Amy Jo Johnson, who played the original Peak Ranger, isn't finished with the franchise quite yet. After raising $250,000 in less than 24 hours via a Kickstarter campaign for the Power Rangers, a 30th anniversary comic book celebration, Johnson will write a brand new Power Rangers comic book series with publisher Boom Studios. Debuting the series next year, Johnson collaborated with a partner and director, Matt Hostin, to co-write it. She recalls coming up with the idea before the pandemic hit in 2020. I was daydreaming about it and mentioned it to my boyfriend, Matt. He said, "Why don't you try writing it?" This is the part when it was talking about how she was talking about having fantasy idea of writing the Power Rangers comic, and this was before the pandemic started, like around 2020 at the time. So when her partner pretty much convinced her to just go ahead and write the comic book series, it might come to life. So I think that right there is what all of this started, because when you're a Power Ranger, you have your unique ideas of how you want your version of the series to be. I think chances are Amy Jo Johnson is going to kill it in the comic book series route, because her and her boyfriend are like the goats for this though. I'm excited for what else she has in store for us, so let's continue. The new comic series is something that Johnson has been elated about for quite some time. It has been so hard to sit on this and not talk about it for a year. Johnson said. And she promises that the new comic series will be different from the original, since that is my version. Wow. When she says that it's going to be different from the original, like the TV show, because the TV show was kind of cheesy, it can't be dope, but that's what we love about it. But in terms of, making it a difference and changing things up within the Mighty Morphin series, within the franchise itself, I think it's absolutely a genius idea on her part to do something like this, because it gives room for improvement over the franchise with character developments, unlike the 2017 film, which took too long for them to do, and for them to morph into the Rangers, which is a red flag completely. So let's continue. For inspiration, she went back and watched the original episodes for the first time. I honestly had never watched Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Johnson says. After leaving the series in 1995, Johnson says she just moved from Power Rangers and had no idea about the fan outrage that ensued. Oh boy. Just like how Jason David Frank was when he left the series, his role as the Green Ranger, when he went on to do Cybertron, the little pilot episode that he was about to do, but got canceled, unfortunately. So Brett Hawkins came in, as Ryan Steele for VR Troopers. And funny enough, Brett Hawkins was supposed to be the White Ranger in season 2, but that plan completely got scrapped until Saban had a talk with Jason David Frank and invite him back to Power Rangers to be on TV again. And before you know it, kids were not eating the cereal, did not want to go to school, because they wanted to see their favorite hero back on TV. And you would have think that back then it was kind of crazy, but people are still feeling this way about this anniversary special, because Tommy is not in it, Jason David Frank is not in it. Listen, y'all need to understand that, like I said before, actors and actresses have certain decisions they need to do, and they want to focus on other career stuff besides Power Rangers. Like, you can't just be expecting and demanding them to come back for an episode or the entire series or completely an anniversary special. But it just seems like the fans has gotten everything backwards, because I know about the franchise. I know about it way more than anybody else did, because those who forgot about it were only focused on Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Season 1. And instead of watching the entire series, minus the Alien Rangers, because that exists, they would rather just focus on Mighty Morphin of what they remember, instead of doing the entire research. And that's the red flag also. I didn't even know they were upset. There was no internet, there was no social media. Hey, that's the 90s. The internet and the computers were pretty much a thing at the time, when they were just coming out with Dell computers and stuff before the early 2000s came along, and that's when they came out with laptops, Chromebooks, and all the other computers that we have now. And so the fact that kids and simps got real upset over the fact that Amy Jo Johnson left the Power Rangers back in 95 in season 3, which is beyond crazy to me, so to say the least. She says working on the set of Power Rangers had its flaws. The series was non-union and should mean roughly $700 an episode. Obviously, to unions and the benefits that she could have received. Johnson admits she was just excited to be working as an actor. I was getting paid more than I've been paid before. So she was basically saying that during her time on the show that she was paying more than the other actors, which is not fair because all of them were just paying terrible. $600, $700, like they could have paid like more than just hundreds. They could have paid like $1,000 because of how impressive they delivered their lines on TV, which is kind of crap because back then Saban was just being a cheapskate and didn't want to pay these actors and actresses because of how good their performances are as actors. If they were able to put on a great performance, then why couldn't you just pay them like $1,000? So you could have paid them more. Because you're making money off of them. They're not making money off of you, which is dumbfounding, and it doesn't make any sense how you're gonna do these actors and actresses like that. It's just completely terrible, and I don't like it. So the fact that she completely talked about it, how years later she was paid with less, $700, that's basically a lost number because the rest of the cast were paid less, and that's why Allstate Walter and 3 Train Garvarsal Soul left the show due to money issues, similar to how Amy Jo Johnson left the show because of that. And it's crazy how Mighty Morphin had a dark, controversial moments behind the scenes, and years later people are still talking about it. These actors are still talking about it, and it's no wonder why Mighty Morphin was what it was back then. But we all still love it because we grew up with it. But at the same time, behind the scenes stories, because when you think about it, behind the scenes stories, which is it was pretty trash to say the least. So let's continue. Of course, Power Rangers, she acted in Susie Q, Perfect Body, Felicity, and Flashpoint. For the last 10 years, she has turned her attentions to behind the camera, writing and directing 4 short films, 2 feature films, and made her theatrical debut on the CW's Superman and Lois. I heard that she directed a few episodes, though. I'm gonna have to check that out. If I see like one credit to her name in it, I'm gonna give her a credit for it because Superman and Lois is a good show. I've seen a couple of episodes from season 1. I haven't kept up with the series, so I'm gonna have to go and rewatch it myself because I heard how good the show is. So yeah, I'm gonna check it out. Amy Jo Johnson, she's been doing her thing directly, and so was David Yost because at the Power Rangers, he hasn't been really acting in many projects because the only thing he was doing was probably directing and producing reality shows or something like that. That's what I'd be hearing at the time. One production she did not join, however, was Netflix upcoming Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Once and Always reunion film, when Johnson's original Pink Ranger co-stars Walter Jones and David Yost joined the cast. Fans speculated about why she was not a part of the film. Johnson took to Twitter to address these claims, revealing that her decision has nothing to do with money. I spoke about that part in the past. So I really don't understand why everybody is so busy trying to get her back in the Power Rangers, because if she doesn't want to join, she doesn't want to join. She doesn't have to. And that's just the thing that bothers me with these toxic fans. It's like they don't even care about the actress of what she has to say. All they care about is her being back on TV just for the sake of it. And then they get mad when these actors make decisions. Like, come on. It's really dumbfounding how these toxic fans are with these actors and actresses nowadays, because you get mad at a person for not wanting to come back for an anniversary special. Like, grow up and go touch grass or something. Speaking with Variety, Johnson reveals there were a bunch of different factors that came to play. One of them being I was working on projects. I have a 14-year-old daughter. I stopped acting and switched my focus on writing and directing almost 10 years ago. I can give you a list of excuses. I mean, I don't think that was an excuse. I mean, if you have a daughter to take care of and you have other things to do with your life, then you should go for it. But at the same time, you shouldn't have to get mad at her for, not coming back for an anniversary special just because she was a part of the original crew. Like, give Kat a chance. Give Rocky a chance. they were also a part of Mighty Morphin. They're also old school as well, not just season 1 cast because you remember them for it. While Johnson may not have said yes to the Power Rangers reunion movie, it's clear that the franchise still holds a special place in her heart. Desiree David Frank was one of Johnson's original co-stars and a dear friend who died in November 2022 due to suicide, which I've did videos on this in the past. JDF was like family, she says. The whole franchise will always be very special to me. I can't wait to see it. So she's just like me and everybody else that are really excited about this anniversary special, and it wouldn't have killed y'all to just leave this poor woman alone. Like, if she's excited about this movie, you should be too. I'm excited as well. Just focus on what she has in store for us, because this comic series that she's doing with Boom Studios about the 30 years of Power Rangers, I'm interested. I'm invested in it as well. For now, she reveals in the excitement that her fans will get to experience her new comic series. This is my thank you. This is my love letter to the fans, she says. It's just been incredible to have these kids who are now adults support me through all of my career changes. Let me just say this right here about everybody who is still mad about Amy Jo Johnson not coming back to Power Rangers after 30 years. She has other plans in store for us. If she doesn't want to come back, don't get mad at her for not, coming back for this film. Like, this is for the Power Ranger fans that grew up with the franchise. And whether you like it or not, she has other comic series and other projects that she wants to work with. And not to mention, she is talented. She's a talented person. A director, singer, producer, a writer. Like, this is really interesting. So, if y'all want the article, I will post it in the description. So, until then, I'm out of here.